You are listening to the SavageFINcast, episode 38, Christmas in May.
Chicago. A criminal mastermind called Overlord held our city in his terrifying grip. Ordinary cops were losing the battle against Overlord's super freaks and mutants. Then, a miracle happened. When I found him, he had no memory of his past. I helped him find an identity and a life. Now we have a fighting chance. Now we have the Dragon.
This is the SavageFINcast, the show that even we sometimes need technical support. I am Jim Purcell.
I'm Raven Perez.
And it is just us this time.
It makes us very sad. We're sad, Mr. Olsen, #1 superstar stunner.
Sad Mr. Olsen in the snow.
Yeah, he had a little bit of a business to take care of. We will do your best to fill your mighty shoes, good sir. I think we got 2 extra feet between us. We ought to be able to do it. Oh, Lord. There's a lot to get. This is a movie.
Yeah,
It's been a while.
We are very, very late, and we are very, very sorry. I think what happened, I believe, is that we kept waiting for the issue to come out, and it kept not coming out.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's what happens when a guy has to draw 2 issues in 2 months.
And totally rocks the socks. Like, it's not like... It wasn't like any phoned in effort. So everybody wow, I'm getting ahead of myself. But yeah, that'll delay things up a bit.
Hopefully that means we'll have faster turnaround when Free Comic Book Day issue is reprinted as a regular issue.
Oh yeah, I'm saying, I'm predicting. I'm gazing into my crystal ball. Double issue month.
Yeah, that ain't happening.
Well, you know,
put money on that not happening.
You know,
my cynicism is tingling.
Got to be optimistic, man. It's important for the future.
So we got a 2 months worth of news to rattle through, so we might as well get on that now.
Let's take it.
Erik Larsen news. Of course, last Saturday, what we decided was the 2nd was Free Comic Book Day, and of course, at the forefront of Image Comics' push was Erik Larsen himself with an entire issue dedicated to our favorite Savage Dragon.
Legacy.
Apparently 100,000 copies of this thing got out there, which probably makes it the most printed Savage Dragon issue in, ages.
And, as from what appears to be the thing, I mean, if they're hard to get a hold of, it seemed to me.
No Savage Dragon fan had ever found one.
That's pretty much the way it's coming across. They were it was funny too, is that, I will say, and I am happy to see it in the hands of people who've never read it, but it stung just a tiny bit when people were like, "Hey, don't you read this?" And they're sending me Facebook photos.
Did you actually get out to a shop on Saturday?
I ran out like a child on Christmas, only to get the only thing I could get of any even remote quality was the Free Comic Book Day Comic Book Legal Defense Fund thing.
Ah.
That's all I got. I was so shut down. I asked the guy, I was like, Savage Dragon. He's like, those were gone by noon. I was like, damn it.
I mean, I guess that's good.
It is good.
I didn't go.
You didn't even go?
No, I'm kind of over comic shops, I guess. The hustle and bustle, hubbub. To be fair, I should have gone, but my local comic shop that's close by finally closed down after years and years of mismanagement.
Ooh.
And I didn't want to drive all the way out to the other one. Which I knew would be mobbed because that place is actually somewhat busy most of the time.
Sounds like opportunity, Mr. Purcell.
Yeah, I know. Believe me, I wish I could open my own comic book store. If I only had $10,000.
Well, I will
start me today.
Savage. What would you call your comic shop?
I had a good name.
I knew you did. That's why I asked. That's why it derailed my question. I was like, wait a minute, I know you have a name.
It's not coming to me. I had it a long time ago when I actually thought I would do it, but I've lost it.
Brainiac's Comic Shack.
Brainiac's not bad. I call it Brainiac 2 because I'm really inside.
Thor's rubber hammer.
No, I probably wouldn't name it after any characters.
Oh, yeah, it'd be awful. That'd be death. Judge
Dreadland.
You know what?
Judge Dragon Savage Dragonland.
Only
Judge Dredd, only Savage Dragon Shop.
People come and be like, "Do you have that new Spider-Man?" You'd be like,
no.
"Get out! Get out!"
So yeah, it's good news. A lot of copies out there. Hopefully, people enjoyed it.
A lot of people taunted me with their copies, so that's pretty good.
Stuck it in their pants, rub it on their face. On their face.
It was all over my wall. It was like, "Look what I got! It's going right in the garbage." I was like, "Oh man, no, you bastards!" Yeah,
right in the litter box.
Yeah, I got super taunted by people that got. "Oh, I got 3." I was like, "You jerk!"
See, that's why people can't find them. People are freaking hoarding the things.
No, I'm excited, and the thing that I think is awesome, and hats off to the man for doing it, but it's a real issue. We are gonna do a spoiler-filled review, and we're gonna, because this is actually gonna make its way. For those that don't know, it is gonna. If you missed it, no big deal. It was a time jump story. It will make its way into regular reader hands, right?
I want to say probably 208, 209.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Given the time jump, that sounds right on the money. This year, for sure.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it won't end up like that. Do you remember that free comic book day that had the sections of printed stories? There were like one from Invincible and one for Savage Dragon. There was 4 or 5 pages that came out of a story that would appear in the future.
No.
You don't remember that?
No.
There was it was a while back, and it had Dragon, and remember Karen? Was it Karen Black? He was on the road. I don't remember the Seeker was in it, but that got printed. It took 2 years for that to appear in a Savage Dragon comic.
That is, you know what though? It's so funny because in comics, it's so easy to lose track of time and keep stuff exclusive.
Especially the way that Erik writes and draws.
Uh-huh.
I bet he wrote it, changed his mind, and had to find a way to put it in there at some point to say he did.
Right. He's just like, "Oh, that dangling over me again." Nah, I missed that entirely, but the cool thing is I don't think there's any way. I think he said there's going to be minor changes dialogue, but other than that, it's going to be basically the same yarn and
variants.
It blew like one comic guy. It's funny, he's such a hater. He's like, "You didn't get it," and I was like, "Nah," and he's like,
"No, I crawled out of bed at 2 p.m. What did you expect was going to happen?"
When you wake up at the crack of 2, you don't get the worm. That's the other saying. But he said to me, he was like, "It was probably just a reprint of issue 1 anyway." And I was like, "No, dude."
Nope.
I was like, it was all new and awesome. It was really good, crucial stuff. So, it's good.
I can hear the nasalness coming out of.
Yeah, oh yeah. Absolutely.
Speaking of the future, we got a cover for Savage Dragon 207, which looks absolutely fantastic.
I know. That's gorgeous.
It's also apparently got some solicitation copy. You're pretty good at those, Raven.
I've been known to do that. Featuring Malcolm and Angel versus Glum and Angel. Malcolm Dragon, Battlegirl, and Rex Dexter go into Dimension X to rescue Angel Dragon and bring Mr. Glum to justice.
We were just, some people were talking online, but they're not big fans of Glum, but I like Glum.
Glum's got a lot of, I see interesting things, people feel like he's run his course and stuff.
Right. I actually didn't care for him early on when he was a gag character, but when he actually took over the world and became a nasty piece of work, I actually started to like him more, because I think his cartoonish look juxtaposed with his ruthlessness is actually pretty interesting.
I agree. There's not a lot of guys like him in comics these days. I mean, the only equivalent really I can even think about is Mr. Mind. where you have kind of this really
Right. Wicked Worm.
yeah, somebody who's just really goofy but is actually in reality like a total badass.
Right.
Like Mr. Mind is a totally heavy hitter in Shazam, and same thing with Glum. Like he looks like, oh, how cute. Oh, he enslaved everyone for years and tried to remake the planet as in.
And the thing is, he's already been killed once.
Yeah. It broke my heart too. I was like, no.
Yeah.
Tugged the old heartstrings.
So it's almost like you don't want to repeat that. You want something different to happen.
But you know what's interesting? An interesting time to be a Dragon fan in this day and age is, there's a lot of loose threads getting tied up left and right like crazy.
That's the biggest fear. I find the Glum alternate angel dynamic to be very interesting and creepy and interesting.
Uh-huh.
And I fear that by confronting this dangling plot thread, the easiest solution is to get rid of them.
I'm sure that we are in for a treat however it shakes out. That's what I'm saying, though, is it's like, isn't the tension, it's like more tension than just, a regular encounter. Like, you're kind of like, this could be these are very long-lived, like, characters in the book. So
yeah,
they're kind of, all those long-lived ideas got their
Kill
neck on
Glum.
the chopping block.
Angel becomes Queen of Dimension X.
So how do you see Glum going?
I don't. Well, accident, hubris.
Oh, yeah. Banana peel.
He explodes by accident. Rex Dexter die. I actually more expect Rex Dexter to die, actually.
I just hope that Angel and other Angel, I hope we get to see them get it on.
Yeah.
It could happen.
Yeah.
Nah. It's exciting stuff. This cover is a beaut. I could not be more.
It's really good looking. I really like the art of this cover. It's really freaking cool.
You can't go wrong with like the super intense Starfield. Like it's good. It's good. It's everything a Dragon fan would want. Moving along, I guess, keep it because there's so much of this news.
So much news.
Larsen, this is probably falls in the old news category, but it's our dutiful duty to report. Erik did the show in San Francisco, the Cartoon Art Museum. I know.
Way back in February.
It was there. Unfortunately, I'm pretty sure your window's gone if you didn't get to go, but it was awesome from the pictures and everything we saw. A cool treat is the video of an interview he did as he did an actual guided tour through the exhibit. It's on YouTube for all to enjoy. So you can check that out a number of different ways, I think. It's actually on Larsen has a YouTube. I think for a while it was hosted on their site. It's definitely on dragonfan.net. So if you haven't caught it, it's cool. It's got some good insights into characters. You just wouldn't believe sometimes. I feel like, what's funny is I feel like every time I hear Larsen talk about like his past and the childhood of these characters, I feel like I learned some new nugget where I'm just like, I'll be damned. It's funny. After I've been reading in the letters columns and stuff all these years, and you think that you would stop getting like, a new little like glint or twist or something. Nah. It's good. It's a good listen, even if you've heard the tales.
True.
So I gave you the juicy news article.
Oh, wait. Yeah. Twitter flap gate.
Dun dun dun.
See, because it's been so long since our last episode, like 2 months. All this drama occurred off camera.
Oh yeah.
We are the worst reporters.
I like to say that we like to let the dust settle so we can accurately report the facts.
Yeah. We're better than all those other news sources that just kind of, flail about and make it up as they go along and pretend they know what they're doing.
Conjecture.
Oh, wait. That's us.
Yeah. We're newsmen of the newsmen of old.
As best I can figure. See, just to summarize the whole events, Erik made an off-the-cuff comment about
Practical.
the latest version of Miss Marvel at Marvel Comics having a kind of boring costume.
Comboed with Wonder Woman, a criticism of Wonder Woman's look.
Right. Current look.
Yeah, the war kind of look. Where
and a group of people found it to... It basically read too much into his comments as being, like, sexist.
it spun so out of control.
And it's unfortunate because if anyone knows Erik and know his work, he's not that.
And that's, it's funny because you should mention that, because I actually got in a little fight with like no, it's not even a fight. We were having a discussion, but like I was having a discussion with someone and they kept saying he's doing this and he's doing that, and I was like, if you know him at all, you know he couldn't be further from that. Like the whole dissolving of the partnership on Ant because of one panel that he thought was like too vulgar.
Right.
It's so funny because if you know anything about him, you know that that's just not true. But oh, it was crazy. It was.
But I mean, I disagree with Erik fundamentally about his opinion on the Miss Marvel costume, as I actually think the Miss Marvel costume is pretty good as far as Marvel costumes go these days, modern Marvel costumes. Wonder Woman, yeah, it's pretty bad, but DC's pretty bad right now.
Yeah.
They do not have the right people at the wheel right now. It's very, very unfortunate what's going on at DC these days.
Yeah.
Well, Marvel's on an upward swing, in my opinion, in terms of diversity of characters, of promoting the right books. I mean, there's some politics still going on back there. There's all this shit with Fantastic Four.
Oh yeah.
That's a major downer.
Mm-hmm.
Especially since the Fantastic Four Fox movie reboot doesn't look like it might be dog shit.
Pretty solid, actually.
It may actually be okay. I'm hoping for like X-Men 2 quality. But anyway, where was I? Oh yes. But people got up in arms.
Oh yeah.
The unfortunate part is a lot of them were on what I perceive as the right side of the argument, because
allow me to take counterpoint then. Go ahead.
Let me paint some history, because
Go ahead.
There's a big movement going on in
counterculture
and pop culture, and
they likes to call it the culture wars.
Yeah, primarily it started last year. Well, it's always been going on, because sexism in entertainment is, eternal.
It's always been there.
Right. But back last summer, there was a big flap because some quote-unquote feminists had some strong opinions about how video game makers and video game players treated women in video games.
Okay.
So they got harassed and death threats, and it was the most disgusting thing you can ever see. That sort of thing boiled over into like all these other things, including comics.
Right.
And it's just been kind of and I could go on about what happened with the Hugo Awards in science fiction this year. That also ties into it, where a voting bloc decided to sabotage the Hugos by choosing specific science fiction books that weren't at all good, but fit certain like narrow criteria to push all the quote unquote feminists and gay culture works, anything that like has any kind of thought put into it, out of the awards, and has done like irreparable damage to the reputation of the Hugo Awards because of this whole thing. But it all kind of ties into it.
It's funny.
And comics have been kind of drawn into this, because comics also have historically have over-sexualized women, and is it's a visible problem. It has been improving a bit with certain creators.
I'll take the opposite time anytime you're feeling finished, Purcell.
I'm just trying to set the stage for the audience.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
And basically Erik accidentally brushed into this.
He was unaware. He was unaware.
All
this mess.
What he was the hornet nest he was kicking over with his comments.
Yeah.
And that's why it was massively unfair why this hammer came down on him.
Yeah. It basically anytime you do anything on Twitter, it becomes the rumor game, where one person gets a chunk of the full story. And so it's so easy to take things out of context, and especially if, and I mean, it's sad, but as a Savage Dragon fan, you have to, just accept the truth that most people do not know, your favorite 90s creators.
Right.
They have no idea. They have no reference.
And at a glance, they see the sexy artwork and make the assumptions.
If you have no history, if you don't know anything about it, and it's funny because if you even read his article, like, his reply, like, he was not even remotely saying less concealing clothes.
Right.
It's funny because it was a clash of two larger conversations, but neither party had actually been paying attention to the other party's conversations.
Right.
I was trying to explain to the one, me and my feminist amigo were having a go at one another, and she was like, he does this, he does that, and I was like, no, I was like, this stuff fits into problems he has had and discussions he has been having about comics in general for a long time. Like, if you know Larsen, you know.
Larsen, where he was coming from is he was coming from an artistic standpoint about what's the word?
Rendering even. Representation.
Well, no, it's literally when you look at a character,
aesthetics.
Are they aesthetics? He was talking about aesthetics. He was talking about the silhouettes. He was talking about, from the artistic side, to him, these costumes are uninteresting and unmemorable.
But on top of that, it's you have like the criticism that you can slap a jeans and jackets.
I personally am on the jeans and jacket side. I love superheroes in plain clothes.
The problem is that it's not really iconic. Street clothes are not iconic. So I get that. So there was that side of things too.
And I know what your answer is going to be. But Dragon gets away with it.
But that was the thing. You gotta.
But he's green with a fin. No, but he still wears jeans and t-shirts.
You gotta put. See, it's so funny. You gotta put everything in context. When Dragon debuted in his plain clothes, like I remember, I don't wear an outfit. My police uniform is my outfit, and all that good stuff. Everyone was in costumes, so to be in plain clothes was a counter to the norm. It's what made him stand out. So it's funny to criticize and be like, Dragon wears normal clothes. It's like, well, yeah, because when he was created, that was special. Now that everyone's trying to push towards, it looks like it came from a movie set, it's a little less special to appear like you're in street clothes because, like you said, I mean, more dudes are running around looking like they're in jeans and jackets. And
well, a lot of the criticism Ms. Marvel specifically was getting where she wears a skirt, and people are always, how's she moving a skirt?
Which, again, it's funny.
But
if it
doesn't take into account one very important fact. She's superhuman.
Also,
clothes don't necessarily impede you if you're superhuman.
And the conversation that, like I said, the reply that Larsen had just says it all. It's like, well, it doesn't have to be an issue ever. Like the Mary Marvel things. Like Mary Marvel wore a skirt, and you never saw an upskirt for like 8 decades.
It's their creators and the artist job. Well, their responsibility to either sexualize or non-sexualize something. Anything can be sexualized. Anything can be fetishized.
Even a butt. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, a butt.
Especially a poop comes
Your
out of
knees.
Butt. People love them.
But anyway, then this whole story was this, and then it took a twist for the unfortunate. A video game website reached out to Erik to do an interview about this, to get his side. Erik, of course, not being, he doesn't know anything about Gamersgate. He doesn't really know anything about video game blogs. These people reach out to get his side of it. Turns out this video game website is their motto is games for masculine men. They are really riding that
He-Man women hater image.
Oh yeah. And you can if you read that interview, you can see how leading their questions are.
Yeah,
they're trying to get Erik to say something to confirm their belief that everything's okay. The sexualizing women is A-okay. But the wonderful part is Erik manages to dodge all those bullets in that interview.
Well, it's not even a dodging. I mean, like I said, if you know anything about him, it's so funny because people look at like Rita Metermaid and Smasher, and they're like, oh my God, look at the way he did women. But I was like, you're not taking into account that Alex, Maxine, I mean, he has a ton of women that are like amazing, like super realistic, awesome. Like, it's both sides of the coin are in the book. It's not really but whatever, Well,
what's wonderful is another website went through and, showed that this other website was not the best platform
Well,
for this.
I'll go
And they
through-
reached out to Erik, and they did a proper interview.
No, they didn't.
And-
Can I just correct you there?
Sure.
The Outhousers absolutely flops on the other side of the coin. Both of those sites are pushing their own agenda. The Outhousers are no more neutral than that site was neutral. The thing is both.
I don't know. The questions didn't read as leading to me.
They absolutely were. Those were absolute. The questions to me, the way they read, they were like, "But aren't you ashamed? And don't you feel you owe people an apology?" Like that was the way it read to me. And if you look at the context of like some of their stuff, they love to ride on that side of the. They love to ride on the offended side of things. I don't see too much neutral coverage in their like reviews or whatever. And it's fine. I mean, it's fun because I went back and I looked, and like these guys had a go at Erik in kind of a really like irritating way. Like they had an artist draw Savage Dragon in like practical clothing. Did you see that?
I didn't.
See, I didn't see it either until after Erik's. I don't read a blog to like get any information on my comics. I just, know what I like and I go out and I, pursue it, right? I follow authors, so I don't need to like read a blog or whatever.
Right.
But like I saw this whole article and I went back and like I said, they were hardcore taking a go. It was just as aggressive in the opposite direction. Like, so they were trying their damnedest to get him to say something stupid and sexist. And like I said, it's just not who he is.
See, that's weird because I thought that second interview was just so more well-conducted, more well-researched and coming from a more, I don't say balanced because obviously they did have an agenda, but it came from a more neutral position, at least.
I won't say that they took...
But again, at the end of the interview, Erik himself explained himself and did it with such gusto. Like, how can you fault the guy anymore?
Well, it was just
explained himself.
It was just not a 140 character thing you could take out of context. All it was just his, his exact same things. Like I said, if you know him at all, you know the things that he says and how he feels about shit. And all he was just he explained what, if you were listening to him at all before this, you knew most of what he was saying. Right. And it was just so funny because I felt like this was like Erik Larsen for beginners. Like people because there were a lot of people that were like, all these 90s guys are ridiculous. Because it was hardcore. It was a little like mini phenomenon. And this is what I will say. This is what annoys me about the other side of things. You see these guys like crucifying like older artists. And it's just like, okay, but like, guys, you don't have to like shit on pros who have like sustained the industry through its worst times. You don't have to.
People are looking for an evolution, and it's slow to come. And older creators, they're not. I won't say as in touch, but they're not up on the passion that the younger generation has on this stuff, and it's understandable that certain things are gonna pass them by and. It doesn't really rock their world until it crashes down on top of them.
My thing is you can't slight these guys for doing what they do best.
True enough.
I mean, it's kind of like
except for that Italian artist who draws Spider-Woman's butt so big.
Fuck
what? That guy.
Milo Manera's the best. Take that back. Guy's a 40-year like pro. He's a master. He's masterful. And also, you get what you pay for. I mean, he was just doing what he does.
Yeah. Like that whole thing with the Batgirl cover. DC just paid for the cover, and once the creators saw it, they said, yeah, this isn't going to work for us. And so they just buried it, and then suddenly it became a news story.
And that's my problem. I'm sorry, but that's my whole problem with this whole, thing, is that you have people who are offended by this type of thing, but they sensationalize it themselves to an extent that I have to say that you're part of the problem. Like, if you hate this cover, ignore it. And I'm not saying don't like it, don't buy it, because I get that you think its existence is part of a problem that holds back the medium, but I am also saying that a 1 in 100 variant cover would have gone completely under the radar had it not got all that hate.
True enough.
That's all. It's not even, it's kind of like think before you have outrage, because you may...
I don't know. I think there's a think before you commission. I mean, somebody had to say, draw the Joker looking really sexually aggressive towards this young girl.
No, you know what's funny? At DC, apparently not. Apparently they just let him do whatever and figure it out later. Hey, let's pay this guy, and then... But you know, this is why I say Erik was attacked by those sites. I feel like they had an agenda. I didn't see an Outhousers article saying, hey, you know what? Larsen is hardcore against that Joker cover. So anybody who thinks he was down with just whatever, dig it. There was no article about that.
Was he?
Yeah, he said that cover was too much and disturbing and that he supported the artist's choice to have it removed.
Fair enough.
It's just, I feel like, I'm sorry, and I just wanted to say too that there's just it's funny because I feel like there's a little bit of like following his, you see it with Rich Johnson on Bleeding Cool.
Right.
And I feel like the Jude Terror dude has like Erik in his sights as an easy way to write blogs.
Yeah.
Because like, what was it? There was something else. I hate to be a jerk, but like these guys, you know, they make a living by writing.
Right.
And so, I think it's the silliest thing for someone to watch someone's Twitter feed and post things that they think are inflammatory in hopes of getting rage bait. It's rage bait.
You mean trolling?
Yeah. To an extent, it is.
Well, that's the real problem. Is that's the trolls and the extreme end kind of ruin the message sometimes.
You know, I mean,
and the message is important.
I'm just saying the message.
And I think you know, I think you sometimes, and we've talked about, you know, sexuality in comics before. It's not about ultimately. It's not about covering up women. It's actually about the opposite. It's about sexual liberation, is what the feminist movement in, you know, media is all about.
Mm-hmm.
Women should be able to define women, and that's really all it comes down to.
So, by contrast, if you have the wrong plumbing, you're not allowed to. Just click.
Yes and no.
Yes and no. I'm just saying. I think anybody should be able to do anything, and I think anybody should be able to enjoy it.
You're right. Anyone should be allowed to do anything, but if you do anything, you have to be prepared to face the consequences. When either a minority or a majority, you know, have an opinion about it.
Young and budding artists out there, you should have an gender neutral pen name, and just keep them confused. Don't play your hand. Don't say anything. Just create your work. Let people wonder. I think there's a huge problem with people attacking authors based on like personal things. It gets real personal. That's all I'm saying.
Well, that's where things fall down.
Yeah.
Is that you can't be personal, and you can't be destructive, and you can't be hateful.
I feel that's the sad thing, is that I feel like I saw so much personal attacks in this whole, like, so many people were like calling Larsen old and like a dinosaur and a relic and all this stuff, and I'm just
that's harmless stuff. It's not like he's getting death threats.
What, you know what though? Is it harm when like that can affect sales and livelihood? Like, it's not harmless. It's shabby. As a Savage Dragon reader, do you want the book associated with that stigma unfairly? You know that's not how the title reads. So, but there's somebody out there who all they saw was the Twitter flap. So in their mind, Larsen's just a big sexist dinosaur.
But I think Erik will be the first to tell you that their ignorance isn't necessarily something to even worry about.
There's consequences.
Maybe.
There's consequences to bashing creators. Would they get their livelihood from their creations?
I think when you live on the edge, when you write an edgy book like Savage Dragon, I think you sort of have to accept that controversy is gonna come along the ways.
Good Lord, man! You know what? This was the news item from hell, wasn't it? Well, it was.
Yeah,
it was,
we've been on this a while. We should probably move on. It really doesn't deserve all this time.
No, but it was a crazy thing that happened.
It was a crazy thing just to watch.
It was crazy to watch it spin out of control.
So, good news, Raven, go.
Yeah, Adam Pruitt, congratulations on your job at Dark Horse. Adam Pruitt.
Friend of the show. Sometimes host.
And Savage Dragon backup helper, behind the scenes guy. Helps in ways you may never know. He has gotten a job at Dark Horse, assistant digital art technician. Basically, in his own words, means he does a lot of things with Photoshop and InDesign. He is a longtime freelancer of independent. Wow. Independent publishers, indie comics. I mean, this guy's a driving force behind so much awesome stuff. He's very excited to be at Dark Horse. He's got a lot of cool projects brewing. Adam, we're super proud of you. Congratulations. Couldn't happen to a nicer guy. And lastly,
something cool popped up on the Savage Dragon forum a month or so ago.
Wrap up the news segment that would never end.
That's what happens when you go 2 months.
That's it.
Without unloading.
Polish artist, and I'm sorry, I will butcher this so that Jim doesn't have to.
Yeah.
Lucas Mauser, I'm going to guess, has a mini comic.
Lucas Mauser looks right to me.
It sounds like a winner. He has a mini comic tribute to Fletcher Hanks and Erik Larsen. It was a sweet, sweet comic. You can read it completely free. It's in English for the first time. Also, I'm pretty sure this bad boy's for sale. If it is, support it. But it's great. It's an amazing, just a short of...
It uses a public domain character from Fletcher Hawks and combines it with panel layouts from Erik Larsen's Savage Dragon run.
It's great.
It is. It's actually pretty great.
Really cool art. And it's got that awesome Larsen feel because he did sort of snake the layouts.
Left-right punching.
Yeah, but it's also got his own awesome art style. It's cool. It's weird. It's a weird sort of a thing, but it's great. So you can find that most easily at dragonfan.net. Just scroll down until you see the Mouthful of Death tribute news article. It's still on the front page.
There'll be a PDF link.
Exactly, and you should totally download it. And if it's for sale, totally support it. It's the bomb. Thank you so much for your awesome tribute comic, Lucas. We are super excited for it.
So, moving on again, we're going to get into this episode's FINteresting Conversations, where, of course, we look to you, the audience, to send us your emails with your questions that we will yak about, because that is what we do.
We yak.
Yuck it up.
No, it's good. It's good stuff.
We got several, responses from last episode. I think the general, response is pretty good. Oh, we could always use some more questions because we do like going through them all and picking one that we like.
And just because you might not have gotten it, actually, this one was pretty hard. We had a hard choice between the two. So resubmit, even if it's the same idea.
Yeah, if you send a question and we didn't answer it, resubmit it, and we may read it again in the future.
Because sometimes it's a really hard call, and we would love to do both, but that ain't how it works. Take it away, Jim. This one's a good one.
All right. Will Poe sends us... We all know Erik recently finished his screenplay for Savage Dragon, and Overlord is, of course, the main villain of the story. If the Savage Dragon franchise was ever greenlit tomorrow as a trilogy, which villains would you want to see headline the next 2 movies as the main baddies? And he says, keep up the good work, and send me my t-shirt.
You know what? Think about the rareness. 2. We're almost halfway done with 2015, and there are 2 of those bad boys out there. There's only going to be 2. This is the second one right here.
Yeah. Get it up on eBay quick.
Get in there, guys. So that's what I'm saying. Super rare. Not for sale ever, and retired after this year.
So this is a pretty interesting question.
It's a great question.
Especially with so many superhero movies out right now.
I know, right? So, Jim, who you think? Who
do I think? Well, of course, Overlord is the obvious choice for the first movie.
He's the intro guy.
He's the intro guy.
Confirmed.
He is, confirmed. Just there's no other choice.
Uh-huh.
Second movie, I think you got to do Dark Lord.
Okay.
You got to step it up a notch. You go from criminal kingpin iron suit to interdimensional overlord, world conqueror, cosmic. Well.
Okay.
Third movie, you got to pull it back, make it more personal again.
Okay.
So the only real choice is Overlord again. No. Actually, I want to Glum. I want to say Glum, but Glum isn't the right choice. I think
For movies, I don't think it'd have the same impact.
and Brain Ape would just be too silly.
You think too silly?
Maybe too silly.
Ooh.
Although, yeah,
You feel free to cheat.
this is the hardest. The third movie is the hardest one.
You feel free to cheat and double up because movies don't do, comic movies especially, don't do single villains often.
That's true.
So if you want to like the headliner is who you chose, but who's your sub baddie, you go for it.
Sub baddie in the third movie.
Or second. Because Overlord's going to be the main dude in the first one, but
Man, I don't know. You know what?
What?
Third movie should be Sebastian Khan.
You're stealing.
Should be Cyberface. That's a way to pull it back while still keeping it big.
You know what's so funny? I actually have my answers prepared here, and you went complete reverse of mine.
Really?
I said number 2 should be Cyberface because you can still go World Conqueror.
Right.
And
you could do a variation of this Savage World. Maybe.
Exactly. Like just
do like a road movie.
Do a little twist. See, this is my view on it. This is my answer to the question, basically. Number 1, you got Overlord and Chicago's in trouble. Number 2, you up the ante with Cyberface. The world's in trouble. Number 3, you make it Dark Lord and the whole multiverse is in trouble. That, to me, escalate that fight, baby. That's what people want.
I don't know. Well, yeah, I get what you're saying. I just think that second movie should be the balls out gonzo adventure, but the third movie should, always be pulled back to a more personal story. Because it's you got to assume it's a concluding story, so the character arcs have to end. And I think being set on Earth in some scenario would be a better place to put that. I mean, the second movie would be a good place to do like Freak Force SOS, I would think.
In the second movie?
Yeah, in the second movie. Have Dragon graduate from cop to superhero team leader.
Man, you're just jumping the scale
and
so
third
high.
Movie is now he's on his own again.
You think people would be sad? That's like the exact reverse of what I think. I was like, I think people would like totally just dig on seeing it like get bigger and bigger and bigger. I think if it went backwards, because you watch, sooner or later, one of these comic movies is gonna like go backwards in terms of scale and scope.
Yeah.
Because so far, every one of them has like blown it up more and more and more.
Yeah.
And you watch, when it happens that it goes backwards, people are gonna bitch.
I think Dark Lord might be too big. If I wanted to do an SOS story for the second movie, your ass might be a better choice. As what did he go by? What was his?
You're gonna do 2 armored villains.
Oh, that's a good point. That sucks.
Yeah,
Iron Man. I don't want to pull an Iron Man 2.
People just be like,
I'm not a hack.
People be like, this is just the same thing over and over.
But see, then you do Cyberface in the third movie, and you can put him in the armor again, and it's a callback to the first movie without being too much.
Can we get this man a byline?
Maybe points on the back end.
I think what's awesome is that any of them would make an amazing screen. I mean, they
do it. Glum can be the animated movie spin-off.
That would work, actually. That would work just fine. I see that working much better even though, like, we all know the CG is there for it. It's not a matter of CG. I just think people could buy it easier.
So, yeah.
That was a good one.
Let's get the first one out the door before we get too pie-eyed, though.
Well, the question said trilogy. It's good. It's fun for the question. I liked it. It was a good question. Thank you, Will. Awesome stuff. I think that little teaser, this should have been in the news. We can mention it here briefly. There's a mystery teaser floating around with an all too professional looking Savage Dragon. No one knows what it belongs to.
Where?
Did you not see that?
I have not seen it.
Ooh.
Describe it to me.
Jeez.
Is it on Facebook? Did Erik tease it?
It is on Facebook. Erik didn't tease it directly, but he did sort of. Oh, he posted it.
Is it in the Savage Dragon group?
It is on the Savage Dragon group, and
is the one Matt Hickman posted?
I think it is.
Is it the one that looks like freaking Liefeld?
Life.
Because it looks really not very good.
John
If this is
Morrison, aka Johnny Mundo, and yeah, it's a scene of him shooting two semi-automatic or two miniguns.
Oh no, not that one then. I am actually looking at Youngblood art, and that's not what I was looking for.
No, it's this one. Let me see if I can't, through the magic of the internet, make this happen for you. But
Make it happen.
yeah, it's one of those things where it's just like that's a mystery thing floating around, and all Larsen could say about it was, "I've said too much already." So it was one of those things where it was like it got everyone talking about the movie. Everybody's like, "Oh my god," you know.
Oh.
And people hate the Finn, I think.
Yeah, the Finn's not so. So this is a live action shot.
Yeah, it's live action as a mofo, but who knows what it's from, right? That's the mystery at this point. And you can look at some of the stuff, and it's funny because someone says that Johnny Mundo said he was in the movie and in a podcast or something. Everybody's like, "What?"
If that's actually from the actual movie, that's not great.
Hey,
if it's like a fan film, it's awesome.
You never know. You never know. Who knows? It could be, because that's the thing. When all those pictures from Ultron, Age of Ultron came out, everybody's like, ugh, because how lame the pre-CG stuff looked. I'm just saying, never judge a comic movie by its pre-finished form. You never know.
Yeah.
Could be a short film. No one knows. No one knows what this is. This is the mystery screenshot.
All right. Well, let's get into the meat and potatoes of this episode.
Oh, I like meat and potatoes.
Savage Dragon 203.
Some would say the best issue published this year.
This is the only issue published this year? Second.
Second. You know, I just cannot wait. I don't want to jump.
Technically third, I think.
I don't want to jump ahead, but I just have been dying to hear your reaction to this issue.
To this issue?
Yes.
I'm keeping it mum. I've got opinions.
Oh, I'm dying.
But first, let me start out. This cover's rock solid. You know why? Can you see why? Can you see it?
I got a checkerboard pattern in my eyes.
Any cover with Neutron Bob the cover is automatically my favorite cover of all time.
I love Red Skies.
Red Skies are better than Yellow Skies.
I think it's the bomb. I think it's a catch. This is a great cover.
It's just a good dynamic cover. I mean, you throw Kill Cat and Kid Avenger in there, and it's going to be a rousing good time.
You got what we call a Gavin Higginbotham bathroom wallpaper special. This one's going on the wall.
Yeah, I'm jealous.
Oh, it's gonna get got. This is a gorgeous cover. Like you said, winner after winner on this cover. And this is a good issue just for the awesome stuff, like the whole
There's a lot going on in this issue.
Right from the intro with the whole Dart's blood thing. I was like,
and that explains something that we were wondering about last issue,
which she directly ties into. Yeah.
Mere vials of blood being a little bit too around.
I don't have a problem with it only because, and it's funny, somebody mentioned it, I think it was Russ Burlingame's interview, where he was like, the blood is convenient, and he was like, well, you gotta think, freakout's not a new thing. He was
True enough.
So these guys have to, the ones that rely on their powers for their lifestyle.
Right. Honestly, it's not that the blood is convenient. It's convenient that simply injecting yourself with your blood re-engages your powers again. That seems a little bit convenient. I mean, it makes some sense with Dragon and Malcolm because they got the whole Chosen One thing going on.
Mm-hmm.
But Dart's just an ordinary person.
Little wise guy blood, just drinking it was enough.
Well, but see, that's different because that was a different source.
Uh-huh.
This is her blood, and that she took from herself because she assumes it has Mako powers in it.
It's good.
If this was just a vial of little wise guy spare, that makes sense. That'd be totally fine. But if it's her blood,
it is totally her blood.
That's what she describes, and that's why she doesn't want to take it, because she doesn't want to become Mako Shark Woman again. Although we all want her to become Mako Shark Woman again.
I am so rooting for that, bro. I am so rooting for the Shark Woman. Do it.
Also,
do it.
Immortality's overrated. Plus, is it really immortality when you can just have it taken away?
It's immortality in that you don't age. Which, if I could cure she could still totally like get her head cut off or blown up or die. I will take the no aging immortality. Like I
wonder if she gets a stamina boost from it too because she doesn't age.
I would.
Her cells don't die or something.
I'd have to imagine there's like residual side effects. Like I'd have to imagine, like little unintentional. Like you don't get tired as you get older, so like you should to always be at peak physical form. Yeah, there's benefits.
But you know why this opening scene is so great?
Rogue Warrior.
And actually, the best part is how she's like treating him as like a close confidant.
Oh, he's just chilling in the lazy boy, and he gets the stink face when she's like sassy with him. It's great. It's good stuff. He's
Rogue Warrior is such an interesting character. He looks like Dragon, but like why?
So it was all for that moment, so that Dragon could
put the face paint on.
That's it. It was his whole look was just for that moment. No, it's fantastic. I love upgrades, bro. I love power upgrades and the like freak out darts.
Yeah.
Why do I not see that stuff coming?
It's pretty useful. It's also foreshadowing.
It seems so obvious. Like you would think that would be super obvious, but when I read freak out darts, I was like, duh. No damn duh. That makes nothing but sense. Depower your foes instantly. So Dart just getting more and more kick-ass every issue. And then we flip, and then boom, next page, more blood. More blood in a vial.
Ho, ho, ho.
And of course you've got the whole, like, blood in the exact same style of container. Like, are they going to get confused and swap their blood? Are we going to have Shark Dragon?
Oh, that'd be a twist.
Immortal.
Rick's had it the whole time.
Immortal Shark Dragon. Well, you got to think though, would Malcolm's blood like, you know how Dragon's blood always kind of like killed out weird shit? Would his blood like kill out the shark thing?
You know, it might, because the Chosen One stuff is generally dominant.
Yeah, like for those who, I always like to think of new readers.
Although he's mutated like multiple times.
You know what? I always like to think new readers. Here in the 51st minute of this podcast, if you came aboard with the free comic book day issue, welcome aboard. We love you. And
please don't leave.
Yeah, and also Chosen One blood dominates poisons and other things, so that's what we're talking about.
I don't know. Remember, yeah. remember when Malcolm became like a big vampire monster?
Yeah.
The only way to stop that was freak out. So
yeah.
he is susceptible to mutation, I suppose.
I think if it had lasted long enough, his Chosen One
might have been able to reject it naturally.
Yeah, that's the way it works.
Yeah, healing factor. Yeah, that's a good point. Healing factor might have been able to deal with it at some point.
But you gotta love the fact that they're both looking at their vials of blood, and it's like in the exact. I gotta say, I feel like a merry mix-up is on the horizon.
But honestly, the best part about this is Maxine's gift.
Ooh, no joke, brother.
She's gonna be Force Field Girl.
I love that. That's good. It just makes sense, doesn't it? Why wouldn't you have that? And it
seems useful.
It's Christmas in May.
Yeah, Erik said that's because these last few issues have all taken place in generally the same amount of time.
It's cool. It's good.
It's fine, Erik. We love it.
I'm okay.
I mean, actually, I prefer it this way because forcing every issue to be a month kind of is jarring sometimes.
Yeah, I'm down with it. I'm okay with it. Bend those rules when you gotta. I also like the attention to the little like nod to the threesome thing. You know, it's good to see that little evolution there. And you know what? Poor Angel. You know, that was my reaction.
Oh yeah, a girl looks like her. It's gonna be really hard to find replacements.
I think so. You're not gonna get that green action anywhere. That's awesome. And even this issue, I just want to say, this issue is firing all cylinders. Like every turn of every page, I'm just like, there's one more kick-ass thing happening.
Also, you totally fucking called this.
Dude.
Last episode.
It was luck.
You fucking called it.
It was luck. I never would have dreamt that this was the way this is going, but it is awesome to the max.
If I remember correctly, you guessed, they could, or maybe Craig did. Someone suggested, they could reattach his head. But I want to say you said flying head.
Oh, I don't feel like I did. That's 2 on the nose. No way. I would have never guessed that in a billion years. Wasn't me. Wasn't me. This flying head thing is hilarious. Dude, if he just had his head, like, on his body. But it's the fact, again, it's upgrades. I love the upgrades. It's the fact that the head and body can operate independently of one another.
Yes, yeah. I thought, like I said last episode, I thought it was a waste to kill him the first time he appears, but apparently he's sticking around, so A+, number 1, would buy again.
Belko getting better and better and better every issue. You know what's awesome, though? I wanted to say, just to drop in about the general things of Savage Dragon, is part of me, I was like kind of afraid, because you know what? We have not seen really silly new characters.
Right.
There haven't been, like, Brainy Ape and Hitler's Brain, being on its own 2 feet and all those good things, like, Powerhouse,
right.
Chicken. There's kind of always been, like, a little bit of silliness to, like, some of the rogues. There's a lot of, like, badasses that are, like, totally, like, Brawn. He's not really funny, or Open Face or whatever. But there's always been those kinds of comedy villains. And I don't even know if he's a villain, but I love how damn goofy Marvin Belko is. Or Melvin Belko, my bad. I love how goofy Belko is turning out to be.
Yeah, he's something.
And then, boom, very next page,
Chucklefucks.
Killcat in the mansion, just Nickelback. I love it, dude. It's fantastic.
Nickelback.
You see his little Nickelback t-shirt?
Oh, is that what he's wearing?
Because,
always in style, that Killcat.
Yeah. How about that man bun, the hair bun?
I never get over the fact that he's got, like, pointy ears and cat teeth. It's part kitty cat.
And immortal. And it is, again, an interesting dynamic to note is that, here's 2 more immortals floating around in a book that runs in real time. So you gotta wonder if, not to jump too far out of sequence, but you gotta wonder how that's going to play.
They'll just outlive everybody. Put Malcolm in the ground and Killcat and Kid Avenger will be there.
That'll be the next Savage title character. Savage Killcat.
I'm sure he'd like that.
2025, Savage Killcat.
But once again, they've completely misread the situation as Dart being the hero and this imposter dragon-looking fella being the bad guy. You know what? I don't know if it's meta-commentary on people who don't realize that the book has changed title characters. You know what? Knowing Erik and this book, it totally is. It's gotta be. It's gotta be meta-commentary. Because it's perfect. If it's not, it perfectly doubles as meta-commentary. You don't know how many people I talk to that like I was picking on the Rich Johnson article where he's like, they should call the book Savage Granddad. And I was like, derf. And I was like, well, if the Savage Dragon in the title still referred to the same guy, maybe. That's fantastic bloggery, pal. Good job. Yeah. Well researched. I read the excerpt. I read the news excerpt. So we get the return of another villain. Oh, dude. And could this not be a more awesome double-page spread? This is a great double-page spread. A great villain. Great art. I don't like this scene. Why not? It's a repeat of something his dad did way back in the day without pretty much with no change. In fact, I wouldn't be shocked if I did a side-by-side comparison. It was the same layout. I bet he didn't say, what's wrong with you? Why would anybody think this is okay? I actually want to... I believe Dragon said something very similar. You know who we need on this one. But it was definitely kidnapping kids at the time, and he was definitely in a sewer. Craig would have known. Craig would know. Craig would have known. We always say Gavin would have known, but Craig would have done the research. We're hacks. Would have been... Well, yeah, I mean, that's right. Ultimate Arachnid died. Ultimate Arachnid's dead, yeah. Yeah.
No, I like Arachnid. It's good to see that he's an awesome design.
Oh yeah, he's great. He's a great character. I'd love him. I just wish he was doing something new and interesting that would, like, you know, instead of the same thing he always does.
Eat children?
Eat children.
But that's his thing. There you go.
And get beat up by a dragon.
There you go, sliding people for doing their thing again, Jim.
Yeah.
Elitist.
Elitist
snob. Now, like, we get to see a little bit of, progression with the Maxine Funk face as she cock blocks Tiara.
Why does Malcolm even have Tiara's number?
Trifling.
Ugh.
just trifling. I love this plan that Killcat and...
The best part is they just kind of rope Bob into just tagging along.
Yeah. And his role in the plan...
is to pretend to be a bad guy.
Positively ridiculous. Now I'm going to punch you in the face a few more times. Fantastic. I wanted to say, and it's funny because Russ Burlingame said the exact same thing to Erik in the interview, and I feel like we've talked about this in the past, but this criticism that Malcolm keeps getting faced with regarding dating Asians, I've not heard that much.
I've actually never heard that myself, but I was always a sheltered child.
Well, there aren't a lot of Asians.
Although I believe it. I believe that people would believe this.
Do you? Yeah.
Because people are idiots.
That's what's sad, yeah. But as I read it, I was like, really? Like, everybody I knew was always, it was like, oh, you're with an Asian chick. It was like a good thing. I've never heard anybody else say it like the other way. Like, you're gay. I never heard that.
But I reading this, I kind of assumed it was coming from something in Erik's life.
Yeah.
I think he did. I don't remember if he confirmed that or not, but it did seem like something he had heard somewhere and decided to, bring attention to.
Seems a little auto-bio.
It does.
But you know what, I tell you.
You get more Malcolm in school.
Yeah, it's always good to, have Malcolm in school. And then how do you feel about this, how do you feel about your boy in this splash page?
Who?
Bob.
In which page?
You should be in Bob.
The one directly after, the one getting punched?
You know what? Okay, let me just say, I expected you to be in much more Bob frenzied mode.
Oh, I'm in a Bob frenzied mode, but I've reached that euphoria point where I've achieved transcendence.
Are you a godlike being?
Yes, I'm divine now.
Are you're not even using a computer, you're speaking right into my mind.
And I'm not even really here. Going crazy.
You're more, it's not even here doesn't apply to you.
You need to wake up out of that coma there, right, Raven?
You're everywhere at once. No, I love this splash page. It's kind of like, Bob's torso looks a little wonky to my eye, but I still love it. Like, it's crazy, all this, perspective.
Yeah, he looks a little small.
He looks skinny-ish, but I love it anyway.
Yeah, it's great.
It's beautiful acting.
I mean, it's not great he's getting punched in the face, but it's great just dynamically. And
it's great he's getting punched in the face as part of a plan that he cooperated to go along with.
But then he gets a good hit in.
Oh, yeah, it was all part of the plan.
Malcolm as he should.
Oh, and then, we flip the page and boom! And now, the moment I've been waiting for.
I'm going to be honest with you, Raven.
Uh-huh.
I actually think he looks better.
I cannot believe it, dude. If you had gotten every Raven from the 52 multiverses and polled them all, not a one would have thought you were going to say that.
I actually think I like him better with regular skin.
That blows my mind, dude. I thought you were going to be so sad.
I mean, I'm sad. I am very sad. I love Neutron Bob.
Uh-huh.
And I love his look, and I love his powers, and I love his loud outfit.
Uh-huh.
But just because he's not big and blue doesn't mean he can't rock it the yellow and black checks.
I just want to say, I love him in that oversized jacket. Like, it's funny. All these following panels where, he's swimming in the jacket. It's fantastic. It's fantastic.
He did lose a little height.
Also, too, isn't it funny? Apparently, his hair standing up nature was part of his powers or something. I love the Doc Brown. He's got the Great Scott look going down.
Yeah, he does have the Doc Brown going on.
Totally rocking that Doc. I was so expecting you to be sad. You're taking it like a champ. You know what I was gonna suggest the title for this? Goodbye Jim. Because you'd said if Bob was like gone, I'm quitting. You said. I was like,
I quit. It's an I quit match.
Exactly. I was like, man, this is gonna be As I read this, I was like, this is good. Goodbye Jim. That's what I heard in my mind.
You wanna know why I'm not actually sad?
Why is that?
Because he doesn't die.
As
long as he's alive, there's always hope.
You know what? What if he can get a blood transfusion from his mom?
From his mom. I mean, they got their powers from living too close to a radioactive fallout pit. I honestly assume they still live next to that pit. But that's just an assumption on my part.
So you're the Bob fan, and again, I admit, I cop to my not being encyclopedic of my knowledge of Dragon lore. What's Bob's mom's surgery?
Her what?
Yeah, the necessary surgery they used to rope Bob into this whole shenanigan.
That must be a new development, because that didn't come up the last time he appeared.
Okay, well, that's why Bob's cooperating, because of his mom's surgery. Killcat's rich, right?
Killcat is rich, somehow.
He has a mansion, stately Killcat Manor. And yeah, that's how he's bankrolling Bob's mom's surgery, whatever that might be. So, yeah, it's good. It's good stuff. Freakout darts instantly effective in a huge way.
Yeah, that's... See, it would have been funnier if Killcat got the darts.
And again, you gotta, what's the origin? He didn't get bitten by a radioactive...
Oh, I don't know. He's half cat. Something must have happened. I don't think they're natural powers.
Okay.
I think he was raised by, cat people or some bullshit.
I know it's silly. I know it's a silly origin, so... Raised by cat people, really?
I don't know.
Oh, it's probably
I don't know. I just know it's something like that.
Anytime there's Boom Pow Tacos in an issue, that's a winner. I'm pleased as punch with that. And then we go straight from Boom Pow Tacos to this amazing panel of Kid Avenger getting spacked into the building. Yeah, I like that Malcolm loses his foot, and then instantly, and you know what?
And remember, he was just hit by Freakout. He can't heal anymore.
Yeah, so he's not a godlike being like Jim. But then, you know what? And this was the best moment. This was the awesome moment.
It is the best moment.
Powerless Bob to the rescue.
Bob saves the day, and that's why I don't hate this.
Bob the hero. More heroic. He's the
Bob. That's the fundamental reason why I like Bob. Bob's a hero.
Bob the hero. He's often a misconstrued as a villain, but Bob is the hero. Fantastic, and he's powerless, and so this is an even riskier move. That's what's so awesome.
What a maneuver!
A high-risk maneuver, my God! Powerbomb to hell! Fantastic. This was fantastic. This issue, and then to end it all, as if you weren't getting all the bang your buck could possibly hope for. So the last page.
Bombshell.
What do you think?
I think we have no reason to doubt her.
I think she certainly got boned in a threesome, and
certainly did that happen.
She's a fertile turtle. We know that.
She is. And see, that's the thing. I believe she may be telling the truth because last time she told the truth.
Yeah, one end of the world boink later, we've got Frank Jr. bouncing around. Frank Jr. So
certainly raises some complications.
I gotta say, for all the people who thought that the threesome was consequence-free sex, boom. Probably not. Plus, how do you lie? You can't... The thing about, you lied. How do you lie about a pregnancy long term? It might be a cheap grab, like a desperate move, but,
right.
What's the end game to being I'm pregnant? He's not going to marry her.
No.
You know. So, I think he's kind of boned. I think that she's legit pregnant.
Yep.
Also... Gotta
wonder what that means.
I'm going to say... Tierra's going to take a fall down some stairs.
No. I bet he'll get kidnapped. We'll see it again in 20 years.
Oh, it'd be... Well, yeah, you got all these, savage Savage brothers, like, doesn't he have? Well, the one got
Oh my
killed.
God, that's right.
Yeah.
More frickin' Savage kids.
There would be another chosen one in the book because Battle Dragon is floating around there with a vendetta.
Yes.
So I'm just saying it's kind of like Barry. I forgot his name. He has a real name, Barry. Yeah.
Actually, he's not a chosen one because Dark Dragon wasn't chosen he was negated at the time.
Oh, so Barry's normal?
I think so. Well, he's got his mom's side. She was pretty tough.
Oh, okay. Hey, good thinking. Yeah. Jeez, man, good job. Yeah, he would be strong just by.
I probably think this stuff more through than Erik does.
You think he's he doesn't think about it like while he's pooping and showering, just like what am I gonna do? How do I get this? I can't even think.
It was cool at the time.
Battle Dragon, what am I gonna do with that kid? So many plot threads. I don't know. No, it's good. All in all, this issue was a total I am absolutely bananas. I just wanted to say one, super awesome, amazing, and God bless you, letter writers. Please keep writing letters. I think they're amazing down the road. When you go back and read these old issues, they're a great snapshot of where people were. And also, you get awesome little gems like Mike Allred of Madman fame writing in to congratulate Larsen. That's cool stuff.
Congratulate him on what?
The issue.
Oh.
Being 200 issues in.
And, yeah, letter pages are cool.
Letter pages are cool, and there's a lot of them in this issue. This is a really letter-heavy the heaviest letter column section I think the book has had probably in actually years.
Well, you know what? That's probably all the 200 letters.
Yeah, a lot of them.
3 issues, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of them were 200 centric. Yeah, these are. I'm very pleased. I'm just saying that it's really cool. These things are not appreciated. They're awesome. And as somebody who came at Savage Dragon late, a lot of the times, if I had a gap in my collection, I could jump in the letters column, read a bit, and it worked like a bizarre little snapshot to get you. It's good. It's good stuff. And
now, there was a little bonus in this issue.
It was. And you know what? I have to be honest. I'm glad this was in here.
Yeah?
Well, it just always seemed weird to me that she just got a key from the landlord, off panel.
Right. Just to clarify, in this issue, Erik published 2 bumper pages that are going to go on both ends of his double-page spread issue. What was that? Was that 199?
People know.
Yeah. Whatever, the double-page spread issue. Because of the way it lays out in the trade, he had 2 blank pages, so he filled them with a page at the start and a single page at the rear that both lead into and continue the scenes that the issue had. So he reprints them here so that those of us who don't buy the trades have them.
Which, that's just damn thoughtful.
And they're good little scenes. Of course, the opening scene is with Maxine waiting for Malcolm to answer her on the phone, because if I remember correctly, at the time he's in a snowy field with the world's best. Shit. Oh, this is when he goes into the center of the earth.
He is in the center.
He loses reception at the center of the earth. That's what happens.
Bingo.
Right. And so she's sitting there, and his landlord shows up and gives her a key to let her in, which she mentions later on in the issue.
Mm-hmm.
And this explains why it happened.
I don't know why it was bothersome to me that was off panel, but I just thought it was weird that the landlord would be like, "Oh, hello, random girl, come on in." Especially since it's Savage, it's like Malcolm Dragon, so like she could be like a villain or something. Oh, yeah, sure, just go right on in. Bonus, and this is weird. I'm pretty sure this is based on a real dude, John Day style, and his name happens to be Craig Olsen, not our Craig Olsen.
Really?
Yeah, weirdness, but yeah, this is a landlord name, not named here. I'm pretty sure he said on Facebook he's Craig Olsen, another Craig Olsen, so there you go. Craig, your days are numbered, son.
Then we have a concluding page after the SOS shows up and cleans up all the subterranean monsters. And it's just, it's Malcolm, Angel, Maxine, Rex, all just kind of having a little powwow post-fight. And we get the best line
Yeah, the best.
ever. Hortus doing her what she does best. Are you guys having sex yet, Maxine?
Hortus stealing the show.
So you know what this does is retcons?
What's it, Rick?
It was Hortus's fault that the threesomes kept happening. She put it into Maxine's head.
Mm-hmm. She turned the spigot on. Well, I can say that Hortus likes it, so, you know, it makes sense. Makes sense she'd get that party going. They get that party started.
So yeah, great issue.
Great issue.
Solid all around.
Great issue.
Bob didn't die.
A+.
I
was dying to hear you. I could not wait. The minute I saw that, I was like, oh, I gotta know. And you like him better, my mind.
It's not that I like him better. It's that I don't like him any worse. I think, my worry is we're never going to see him again. But I think that being alive, you know, anything's possible now.
Oh yeah. He has a future.
He has a future. In 100 issues, Gavin can write a backup about him. Whatever happened to Neutron Bob?
That sounds like the name of a murder mystery. No, I'm excited. Plus, too, you know, hey, his mom is still out there completely blue. You know,
Yep.
No one knows what this surgery could be. There's a mystery surgery element. There's all kinds of... It's good. It's good stuff. This was a killer issue. And we can't exactly talk about it yet, because we are keeping this podcast spoiler-free for Savage Dragon Free Comic Book Day people, but it was an absolutely bananas month to be a Savage Dragon fan.
Sure was. Not since 200 has things been so exciting.
It was good. It was great. This, all in all, is a barn burner. Shall we gaze?
Let's wrap it up.
Gaze into the future.
Gaze to the future.
Savage Dragon 204. Malcolm Dragon versus Angel Dragon. It's come to this, as Malcolm and Angel have it out in what may be our strangest issue yet. I would say...
It's not hard to imagine what's causing this.
I bet.
Speed Racer on DVD.
You don't think it has to do with Fertile Turtle?
Fertile Turtle?
You know,
Explain yourself.
bun in the oven?
Oh, that? No, I doubt they'd come to blows over that.
You don't think so?
I'm 99.99 repeating % sure that Tierra has leaked three-way sex video to the interwebs.
It's a bad day to be Battle Girl.
Bad day.
How do you deal with being accidentally Paris Hilton'd?
Beat up your brother, I guess. I hope Maxine has that protective force field on her.
Yeah. We're about to get that put to use, immediate use. Well, I can't wait. I'm excited. You know, like I said, it's funny. Again, we can't talk about it, but that was 2 absolutely killer issues. This book is, always enjoyable, but damn, barn burners. And the next one I'm super jazzed for. Can't come soon enough.
Yeah, and we're going to try really hard to get Free Comic Book Day issue spoiler cast done in a little while. We may make it a brief episode where we only talk about the issue, hopefully with Craig on board.
Gonna do our best to get Craig up in this biatch.
But we're gonna make an effort. Monthly episodes.
Ooh.
That's my goal for the next couple of months, is to do monthly regardless of the status of the current issue.
You and Larsen both, baby. That's what he said. He said, with this Free Comic Day Twitter flap over, I can I can get straight to business. So here's hoping.
So just remember, send us in your FINteresting Conversation questions. We need those desperately.
They are awesome.
And if I were just to clarify, William Poe, is our winner of this month's.
Only one of 2 in the whole world limited SavageFINcast t-shirts.
So we'll try and get in touch with you, or if you hear this, get in touch with us, and we will get you your prize.
So as far as regular SavageFINcast content goes, thanks so much for listening.
Thank you for listening.
And are you wanting to do a what's new?
Oh, you want to just chit-chat?
Are you feeling
You
satisfied?
want to yuck it up? I mean, it depends. It's getting late. Is it late for you?
I'm feeling good.
Let's knock this out. Let's do this
For the
pterodactyl.
tell you what, for the listener's sake, why don't we put a time limit on it?
Tick-tock.
That way it doesn't run crazy.
Lightning round.
You want to do 15 minutes?
Let's do 15.
Take it away, Jim. What's new with you?
What's new with me? Holy crap, what's not new with me?
Oh. So much.
Oh man, there's so much. They all crashed into each other in my head.
It's like Wall Street.
Well, I guess I'll start with what am I reading right now that's
All right.
new and different and you wouldn't believe it.
What?
Do you know what Getter Robo is?
I am familiar. I have not read it.
Well, Getter Robo is a giant robot hero from Japan, of course, and he's had multiple TV series and spin-offs and toys and action figures. I've gone back to read the original comic series it was all based on from the late 70s.
Okay.
And it is the craziest bullshit you've ever fucking seen.
There were a lot of drugs happening at that time.
Oh,
It was a drug-fueled era.
that was it was an era of giant robots.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Mazinger Z was the first, had come out first, and he was the first piloted robot, super
Okay.
robot. He's the first, I guess you'd call it super robot.
Mech.
Well, not really a mech. Super robots and it's a fine line, but super robots are a little different than mechs.
Okay.
Because super robots are actually when you get down to the bare bones, they're actually more superhero than like mecha.
All right.
In fact, Getter Robo is such a superhero. He's got a fucking cape when he flies.
A giant robot with a cape.
Getter Robo's gimmick is that he's actually 3 jets that can combine 3 different ways to be 3 different forms. That was pretty unique at the time. And each pilot, what's really okay. Let me explain why this is such a mental series.
Okay.
All right. First of all, it's hyper violent.
I love
Like
that.
insanely violent.
All
As
right.
in bystanders get killed like nonstop.
All
Like
right.
little kids on panel death.
All right.
It's actually it's amazing.
Sounds heavy
cultural
metal.
difference of what they can get away with that would never fly here.
In a lot of ways,
It all looks like fucking Mickey Mouse.
in a lot of ways, it was a better time.
It believe me, if comics were like this, we'd be doing a lot better.
We'd all be reading them.
And number 2, all your main characters are fucking sociopath, crazy people. Your hero character, his first appearance is he goes to a karate contest and just beats the shit out of absolutely everyone just because he can.
I mean,
Not to prove anything, just because he can.
you're doing nothing but selling me on this.
And then the second pilot is a fucking terrorist who brainwashes basically a bunch of high school kids
Uh
to bomb politicians.
huh. This is a hero, right?
These are the hero characters.
I love.
They're all brought together by this crazy scientist whose own son gets killed on panel and he barely registers it. And the third pilot, he's actually more of a comedy character. He's like a reclusive judo master. He's cool, but he's more of a comedy character because at this period, comedy characters were like essential.
Oh yeah.
But he's a cool character too. He's fun. But his gimmick is he always dies because every time the series gets like renewed as a new series, his character always dies. So it's like a running gag
Right.
throughout the entire franchise. But anyway, they fight the Dinosaur Empire. Which is exactly what it sounds like.
An empire of dinosaurs.
Literally, dinosaurs, when during the extinction event, they went underground because the climate changed, and now they've returned to reclaim the surface.
You know what? I just want to say, I want Avengers: Infinity War Part 1 and 2 canceled, and I want the Getter Robo movie greenlit.
It's fucking bananas.
Sounds like
the
gold.
best part about all this, all these super robot comics from that era are just like this. They're all bananas. And that's why I'm going back to reading all of them. I mean, on top of that, I was reading a series of another Japanese, this one late 60s, called Cyborg 009.
I am very familiar with Cyborg 009.
Yeah, that's another wacky series. A lot of racist characters, but,
It's
the times.
It's Japan. They just didn't know.
They didn't know.
They were
Although I will
isolated.
say, as racist as their Native American and African characters look, they are the baddest ass characters in the comic.
Yeah, makes sense. You got to think. It was actually, what's so funny is I've heard people refer to people from the 80s, even the 80s. Like, it's funny because that doesn't feel like we should be getting referred to, but like, in such a way, but as like a racist, bigoted generation or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's funny because say what you will, but if there was like a big black dude, he was going to kick the most ass.
True.
He was always going to be the toughest guy.
What's funny about this, the character in Cyborg 009 is he's like the Aquaman of the team. I think his gimmick is that he's really good underwater.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's like he swims really good. When he's underwater, he's like as fast as the flying character. But his attitude is like he just wants to like he's like a hero. It's great. I don't. Cyborg 009 is. It's good.
How are you reading this?
It's all fantastic.
You're reading this digital? Can people go somewhere and partake?
Well, you can buy Cyborg 009 off Comixology.
Sounds like beautiful.
Yep, and it's all the collections are there. It was created by.
Those are really old. So is that quality? Like, how does that look?
Oh, it looks great. It's fresh scans, fresh translation.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Hold on a second. Shit, wrong button.
Thinking noises. That's what.
Tappity tap tap. Tap 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 tap.
Quality podcasting.
Dead time.
Must fill air with banter.
Ishimori.
Okay.
I can't pronounce his last name.
Butcher.
But he was a student of
Osamu Tezuka.
Tezuka.
Okay.
Who created Astro Boy and Blackjack
and everything.
And basically invented manga.
Yeah, and everything basically.
And everything.
It all. He's like Jack Kirby to the millionth degree.
He's Stan Lee and Jack Kirby in one with a big dash of
Walt Disney.
Will Eisner.
Disney, yeah. He's so many of these American people all in one guy.
But Ishimori was the first guy to really come out of that school of art, comics, and break out as like the next big thing. He created Kamen Rider.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And Cyborg 009, which was big work. He also created his other comic called Skullman, which if you think the Punisher is like an anti-hero, Skullman can eat him for breakfast. Skullman's cool because it's also a one-shot. But yeah, Comixology themselves got the rights to all these Ishimori works.
Okay.
And got them all up in HD, and they go on sale once in a while, but they're all good.
That's fantastic.
They're all in that swinging 60s adventure manga style. It's just so bananas.
I love that stuff is in a format that people can see because it's not bad because it's old. Like, a lot of that stuff was absolutely amazing and world popular for a reason.
Right.
And so that's amazing. I wish that there was more stuff like that. Just available.
Getarobe, on the other hand, I have to totally fucking steal.
Oh.
But I found a good scanlation site that has like really high res scans and a really good translation, so it's really good.
Well, all the same, hey, be honest. If it's just not out there, it's just not out there.
Yeah.
So
it sucks.
There's things that are out there only in scanlation form. Wow. You reading anything else? I mean, anything else on your charts?
I started reading Underwater Welder. I haven't gotten very far in it yet. I got distracted. It's actually a print book my friend loaned me, so.
Okay, American or Japanese?
What? You don't know Underwater Welder?
I don't.
Oh, Underwater Welder was written by that Jeff Lamar guy, the guy who did Mind Management.
Okay.
Nothing. No.
I know Mind Management. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but he's becoming a bigger name. I think he's writing a bunch of Marvel books. He wrote a bunch of DC stuff.
Uh-huh.
But it won a bunch of awards. It was like a really big release last year for I think Top Shelf released it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a Twilight Zone type story where something weird happens, and he's an underwater welder. Is what he does. Is he goes underwater and welds oil pipelines.
Okay.
and he has like this encounter with something, which I just got to, which is where I stopped reading. So I don't know where it's going, but he's got a lot of home life problems, and it's like a really an emotional trip type thing.
Okay.
It's good. Art's good. Black and white. Original graphic novel. It's a lot of pages.
I'm down with anything original. Rock on.
Yeah. What about you? Have you been doing anything interesting?
So funny that I should say I'm down with anything original, and the only two things I'm really reading are like completely like licensed things. But I dipped my toe in that Archie versus Predator.
Archie versus Predator.
And that's fantastic.
Is it?
Only issue 1's out, but you haven't lived until you've seen Jughead's commentary on the sexual Tyrannosaur line that Jesse the Body drops in the chopper.
Really?
Make you a sexual Tyrannosaurus just like me. And Jughead totally takes that down. But yes, it delivers on blood and guts. I was like,
it does? Really?
Oh, yeah. Like, I'm going to keep it a secret, but yeah, 2 characters get graphically murdered in the very first issue. So, and it's all rendered in the classic Archie style.
In classic, because that's what I noticed in the previews, is that it will look like DeCarlo standard Archie Jughead look.
Oh yeah, it's on model, and
wow,
it's
Archie as a company really has decided to really grab this whole do fucked up things to our iconic characters pole.
You know what? Good for them, because Archie can be both.
Because it's weird, because for years people would make like parodies and like do like sex adventures and like violence adventures, and now Archie themselves said, "Hey, pay us to do it."
You know, there's a thing in Japan where the people that publish the title, sometimes it's not like a consistent enough thing that you can say it happens all the time.
Right.
But sometimes they will head up their own parody.
Yeah.
And that's the way some of these Archie things feel, because it's just like you're reading this Archie comic and like there's like characters getting murdered and like they're making like classic movie references to like things like, you know, I don't know, it just blows my mind that this thing even exists, but it's excellent. The first issue doesn't take place in Riverdale, but there's still fantastic stuff, and it's all going to be in Riverdale from that issue on. I'm totally down with it. The other thing is I just want to give major shout outs to of course, you know, Invincible is like Savage Dragon alternate universe. Yeah, Kirkman loves the Savage Dragon, so Invincible's been really good lately.
Raven, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Okay, I accidentally hit the mute button.
Oh, no, I can hear you. You're good. But, like, Invincible has been super amazing lately, but I just wanted to drop real quick props on Outcast, say that is an amazing little title. A lot of these Kirkman books that launch, like Thief of Thieves,
right,
or whatever, sometimes they feel like he's just getting his name on it so he can jump off of it. But Outcast is beautiful and excellent. It is very good. And lastly, Multiversity finished, and I just want to say that I never want to see Dino Cop ever again. Like, I hope they don't use him. But B, given what that series was, that is like the highest like compliment to Savage Dragon in the history.
Really?
The whole series was about...
I was running out of money about halfway, not even halfway through. I think I got 2 issues in, and then I had to drop it because it was too expensive. So I haven't read the final issue yet.
As a series, it's not really amazing. I'll just go ahead and say that.
Yeah.
Like, Morrison has done better stuff. You know what it suffers from? He was trying to do way too much in way too few pages.
Right.
So what it is it's super condensed. So unfortunately, to get the good out of it, you're going to have to like read it and reread it and think about it a minute.
Gotcha.
Some stuff's ham-fisted and obvious, other stuff's not. But the gist, just snapshot, is that like basically it was Morrison on his way out because he's not doing monthly comics anymore, and he was making, so there's all kinds of commentary about like comics and what's good for them and everything else. And Dino Cop is all up in that last issue, and this is not a spoiler, but he's featured extremely prominently in like a double-page spread, like on the last one. And I'm just saying, I gotta say that I feel like for a series that's so dedicated to what it thinks comics should be about,
Right.
to have Savage Dragon featured so prominently, especially where the message is don't do repeating stories, don't keep doing events, these are not good for comics, you shouldn't do that, it will lead to, poor storytelling. There's a reason why Savage Dragon is featured so prominently. Because obviously Savage Dragon is linear and moves forward. It's always progressing. So it's cool. I'm pleased. I don't think what's sad is I'm not seeing that take on it anywhere else. Like, no, but everybody that is commenting on Multiversity is like, why is Dino Cop there? No one knows. And I'm like, think about it.
Again, you got to be on the inside.
Yeah.
Well, you know what the worst part about this is springboard to this fucking convergence bullshit.
It's
just DC trying to, ripping off Secret War, but
it's hard to tell who's ripping off who at this point anymore.
I don't know. Secret War was announced a long time in advance of this.
Was it?
Oh yeah.
All I know is that just like the two companies, it's like Xbox One and PlayStation 4. Like they ape each other so hard that I don't really. Sometimes just the line blurs. I have no idea what the hell who came first.
The only good thing about Convergence is they got 2 more issues of Legion of Superheroes, who the 2 issues are being drawn and written by the 2 guys who have been writing the best Legion of Superheroes comic of the last few years, Egos, which is not a Legion of Superheroes comic, it's just a lot like a Legion of Superheroes comic, because DC won't publish a Legion of Superheroes comic.
Oh, they got to publish Lobo or Ambush Bug.
Yeah.
Everybody.
But P.S. I love Legion of Superheroes.
Right.
My comic shop will also sell Legion of Superheroes.
Oh, God.
But my point is, what is my point? My point is Morrison created something thoughtful and interesting, and everyone took it and said, "Oh, multiverse. Have them all fight, beat up each other up."
You know what's so funny?
Like ironic. It's like irony.
I hate that you haven't read this, but I will say without spoiling anything. I'm trying to think how to say this without spoiling a single thing, so you can keep reading it. A good mainstream comic writer leaves tools for other writers that come after him to create quality stories.
Right.
And the gift that Morrison gave people at the end of Multiversity is something that absolutely no one's going to use.
Huh.
And it's a great gift. You will never see this put to use. Like,
is it a multiverse of multiverses?
I can't. I won't want to spoil it for you. But I'll just.
That's always been my assumption, is that the New 52 is just one multiverse within a multiverse.
Nah, I won't say anything. I'll just.
Okay, no spoilers. I'll get to it eventually.
I want you to enjoy it, but
50% off from Comixology in 6 or 8 months.
Well, remember, it's not something you have to read.
Right.
I thought it was.
I really want to read the Watchmen issue because that looks good.
Ooh, that's the best. That is.
I really want to watch the fucking Captain Marvel one.
That one's real good too. That one's really good. I think it's funny. Like I said, he just left all kinds of gifts. It's a great roadmap for what things should and should not be done for quality storytelling.
Yeah.
And I know that, like I said, why's Dino Cop there? That doesn't make any sense. Pearls before swine, my man. He's laying down those solid gold nuggets of wisdom, and everyone's walking right over him, confused.
Right.
What
else? I've been watching Daredevil. I'm only about 6 episodes in, but it's really good. It's like, how do you do Batman really well? You do Daredevil. Because no one knows who Daredevil is.
I know we got to wrap it up because I know I said 15 minutes.
You did.
But I simply cannot leave this without saying real quick, Dawn of Justice, what's your opinion?
Dawn of Justice?
Yeah,
it's like dog ship wrapped in fucking sewage water. Poop water. Called Zack Snyder.
I want that on the back of the DVD.
The only interesting thing about it is that it looks like they're basically ripping all the good parts out of Dark Knight Returns.
Right.
And that's about it.
I like.
They're gonna have Batman beat up Superman, and everyone will cheer.
I gotta tell you, I don't think that you can film that realistically. I just don't see
How fast Superman is? Yeah, probably not.
It reads in comics because a comic is a static medium.
Right.
I just don't see how you. I've never. I mean, that's the only thing that really has me super crazy hyped for it. I just want to see how they do it. What are they going to do? How are you going to sell this? Really?
I bet. Well, see, if Zack Snyder was an actual director instead of a giant hack job, you'd think it was a setup to fool Lex Luthor,
And I hate
that it was a staged fight. But it probably isn't. It probably is exactly what it looks like.
I hate Eisenberg's voice. You can hear it in the trailer, and I'm just like,
Which one's Eisenberg?
He's Lex.
Oh, right.
Zombieland Rex.
Right. I didn't watch Zombieland.
Ooh, well, that's a good one. Yeah, put that. Oh yeah, put that in your to-do list. But yeah, he's basically Michael Cera, like Michael Cera levels of dorkiness and whininess.
Yeah.
As Lex Luthor. Like I'm just
really.
I've never in my mind once imagined Lex Luthor as kind of being like nebbish. Oh, Superman. Like I don't get it. No,
I don't know. They probably are trying to make it more like a TED Talk type.
You know what?
Blogger.
It's absolutely. He was in The Social Network.
Right.
As Mark.
Oh, was he?
As Mark Zuckerman.
Right.
So because of that, I can see the Hollywood corporate gears spinning, and they're like, "Oh, who's a real life Lex Luthor? Mark Zuckerberg."
Yeah, that sounds like Mark. That sounds like how things go in DC in Warner Brothers world. Speaking of horrible looking Warner Brothers movies, did you see all that crap with Suicide Squad?
I gotta tell you, I feel nothing. I don't hate it. I don't love it. I just feel nothing.
Are you talking about the Joker shot, or are you talking about
I'm talking about everything.
Everything?
I can't hate. I can't feel one way or the other.
See, I think there's an interesting idea behind it, and the look of it doesn't look too bad in terms of the squad itself.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a lot of gun guys, which I think, and a lot of brown.
Yeah.
But there's also Harley, which she doesn't look right because she's in a horrible costume, but she looks completely different than everybody else, and I think that works. Also turns out that Joker image was way blown out of proportion. It probably won't look like that in the actual movie.
What a surprise.
What a surprise.
Everyone overreacted online to one image from something that's probably...
A mock-up that was a drawing, not a photo. But that was a horrible... If that was what they were going to go for, that was a horrible mock-up.
I don't know why people haven't realized yet that internet reactions are the new focus group.
But my point is, Suicide Squad could be Warner Brothers Guardians of the Galaxy.
Nah.
But it won't be.
Not enough raccoon.
Because it's a team of nobodies, and they're all nobodies that I love.
Not
Captain Boomerang, Rick Flag, Enchantress,
Killer Croc,
Tana, Deadshot.
And Will Smith looks so weird.
Will Smith is probably the reason this movie is going to be ruined, because apparently he's being a prima donna about everything. Tom Hardy was supposed to be Rick Flag, but he walked because of how much Will Smith is trying to make the movie about Deadshot.
Good Lord.
They're actually the rumor is that they're rescripted a lot of the movie to make it more about Deadshot.
Good Lord.
And you know that because Deadshot's his face is clearly visible in the shot instead of having that half mask thing that Deadshot wears. You just know he's one of those guys that, no, you got to see my face the whole movie. My face is what sells.
Ay, ay, ay. La cucaracha.
Ego is going to ruin this movie. Well, a lot of things are going to ruin this movie, but ego won't help matter as much.
I feel nothing. I mean, when I see it, a lot of people are like, I hate the dark direction and all that. I just don't feel anything. When I see it, I'm just like, meh. Yeah.
I don't know why Warner is having such a hard time doing this. All you have to do is look at what Marvel's doing. All you have to do is look at what Marvel's doing. But the problem is they keep looking at what Nolan did and saying, oh, we got to keep doing what Nolan did.
Well, you know what?
Except this Nolan movie sucked ass.
But you know what's sad? Jim, you're pulling a vocal minority, my man. You're pulling a vocal minority.
Dark Knight Rises was good.
But financially...
Begins was weak. And Rise and... Wait. What order to go? It was just Dark Knight, right?
Yeah.
Dark Knight was good. Batman Begins was just weak. Dark Knight Rises was bullshit.
I'm just saying, though, financially, that's why they can't look away.
Yeah.
Because they're making money. It's Transformers. Everyone on the internet hates Transformer movies, but they make crazy bank. They make crazy bank.
It doesn't make sense.
They make it.
Why can't good things make money like Dread 3D?
It's a sad thing.
Or shit. Oh yeah, gonna go. Oh, speaking of movies, Mad Max Fury Road looks radical as hell.
Oh, dude, could not be more. That's gonna be.
You don't care?
No, it's gonna be amazing.
Oh, good. Okay, just check.
It's gonna be good. That's gonna be.
Yeah. Of course, Avengers apparently is rating pretty well, although I hear it's a little bit weaker than the first.
Wrong.
Really?
Ooh, can I tell you something? I watched Avengers for the second time, actually, just before the FINcast.
Right.
It's amazing watching that the second time and realizing how many people left the theater squirrel-brained from all the spectacle.
Yeah.
And were confused or said things or criticized things that, honestly, on even just a second viewing,
right,
were crystal clear.
Are you talking about the stuff that I've been hearing about Black Widow?
I'm talking about that. I'm talking about other things. I've seen so many complaints.
Yeah, I actually got spoiled on that because but I think I understand the context, so I actually don't really have a problem with it.
When you see, I'll tell you what. Okay, I'll say this.
No, spare me. I gotta see. I'll see the movie tomorrow.
This has no spoilers at all. I'm saying watch it twice before once for the pure spectacle and joy, and just let your brain be like, gah!
Right,
and then go back the second time with the intent that you're going to focus on narrative, character, details, little foreshadowing moments that you couldn't have possibly gotten the first time. Because you know what's funny? It's all there. It's all there. There are so many things that I saw as leveled at that movie as criticisms, and I realized upon a second viewing, because I left the first time with some of the same thoughts. I was like, it was really good, and I had these thoughts, and I went back and watched it a second time, and I was like, my God, it's all in there. It's all in the movie. And it's not even that it's a clever or overly convoluted or complicated. It's not that. It's the sheer spectacle of what's going on screen. You can't help but miss stuff your first time. Like, you will watch it with a deeper appreciation the second time. It's great. I mean, I honestly will say, having watched it twice, I think it's better than the first one. I think most of the criticisms leveled against it are just plain old incorrect. It's crazy. Like, it's good. It's good. You'll like it.
Okay. Well, I'm going to recommend you a movie.
Okay.
Ex Machina.
Hey, you saw that?
Did you see it?
No, but that looks good.
It is a good movie.
Ooh.
It's very good. I don't think it's what people expect. It's very creepy and dark. In fact, when I was watching the trailers for it, I couldn't tell if it was a horror movie or not, but it's not. It's a techno thriller, and it's really fucking good.
All right.
I had to see it at an art house because it didn't get wide release, but apparently it has wide release now. So if you can see it, I highly recommend it.
Hey, this is, oddly enough, the year of me going to... There's some at Jurassic Park. There's so many things.
Oh, fuck, Jurassic World. I forgot about that movie.
There's so many things that are in theaters.
Star-Lord and his dinosaur pals.
Yeah. Raptor friends, welcome to my... Jurassic Parks and Rec. That's what we're saying. But I don't know. I think we need to pinch it off, my man.
One more. Did you see the movie Snowpiercer?
I didn't.
Okay. It wasn't as good as I'd hoped, but it was good.
All right.
It's good dystopia apocalyptic movie with an interesting premise that doesn't quite execute as well as you'd hope, but it's entertaining.
Snowpiercer. Okay.
Yeah, it's on Netflix, I think.
I'll put it in my thought box. It's hard to see past things like Mad Max and Jurassic Park. Like, I am in total blockbuster. Like, Avengers blew the doors off the barn. I was just like, okay, it's summer movie mode like I haven't felt since. It's been a long time.
I gotta be honest, I'm putting a lot of hype into Mad Max Fury Road, and I don't know why. I love Mad Max movies. I think it's because the original director is the one who's on it.
I don't know.
And he's never made a bad movie.
I don't know why, but I feel like that hype's justified.
Yeah, it's all practical effects and it's all practical stunts,
Mm.
except for one scene he did, I heard.
That's gonna be good.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for
Let's wrap it up.
Thanks for hanging in there with us, folks, for the little Jim and Raven go to the movies section. And
That's pretty much what it was. Also raves about Japan comics.
and Archie, it's all good.
And some Archie, yes.
A little bit of tiny Savage Dino Cop Dragon. So, any rate, thanks again, guys. We'll catch you on the flip flop.
Catch you on the flip.
Zoop.
The SavageFINcast is a member of the Gutter Trash Podcast Network, which can be found at guttertrash.net. The SavageFINcast is part of the Comics Podcast Network, which can be found at comicspodcast.com. Also, find us on YouTube at youtube.com/user/SavageFINcast.